Go ahead with your question for Coach Sampson, please. I'm muted.
All right, I'm on. Cool. I'm Kyle DeWitt, NSM Today here at UCF. I just wanted to know, Coach Sampson, how'd you guys weather the storm, especially with that electric crowd being down by 9? How'd you guys weather the storm and get back into the game and end up dominating the second half?
Yeah, that was an awesome crowd. I've been coming down here to Orlando to play UCF, I think, for 8 years. That's the best crowd I've seen. Students were awesome. I think I didn't like the way things were flowing for us. Our bigs were trying to do a little bit too much with it. I called timeout with 6-something to go, and I decided to space the floor and give the ball to Taze Moore, knowing that if they took that away, he could turn and face and drive it. But he hit a big shot there, and then once we got home on the boards, that's what changed. I think they were up at one point 15-5 on the boards, and then we wound up out rebounding them 39-33. But our ability to rebound, Josh didn't have a great game offensively per se. But he had 15 rebounds. Kyler had 6 defensive rebounds. Everything we did or everything we do is team based. We guard you pretty hard. We rebound it. We get after loose balls, things like that. But sometimes we have to grind it out offensively, and when we miss shots, we have to get on those boards. But I'm proud of this team. It's a good win. Not easy to come into UCF and win, especially when they have a crowd like this. So I'm proud of our guys. Good win for this group.
We'll go to Joseph Duarte with the Houston Chronicle. Joseph, go ahead.
Kelvin, speaking of guarding, Green hits those 3 threes early on. Then you guys, guard, take it away a little bit more. And then what Mahan didn't do. Can you just kind of speak to the defensive approach that you guys had on, especially on those 2?
Yeah, our scouting report, we've played against these guys, so we don't really have to watch them play other teams. But, those 2 guys were 9 for 10 the second half against Michigan. East Carolina, they come back and win with those guys. What other games? They've had several games where they've been down and they came back. Tulane, Saturday, they were down 13 to Tulane or 10-13, whatever it was, and they came back. But, usually we take a blue piece of tape and stretch it across right above the 3-point line and say that's our pickup point line. What we did before this game was take that pickup point line and extend it more toward half court. So against East Carolina, our pressure was inside the original 3-point line or pickup point line. Today we had just extend, and our guys did a great job. Now let's give Darren Green some credit on the first 2. That was still pretty good defense. Those were hard shots. He was literally running north and turned around and shot it south, and it went in. What am I going to do? Get on Kyler for not playing good? That's good defense. It's like baseball. You can hit one on the button hard as you can. It goes right to the shortstop. You can play great defense. Sometimes there's just better offense. But holding that team to 21% on the 3-point line was big. Josh Carlton, 15 rebounds. Fabian White, just played like a batch. We had some big shots when we needed it. The ball moved. We didn't necessarily light the world on fire offensively, but I can't be disappointed with our shots. We got a lot of good looks. Jamal's not making a lot of shots right now, but he's playing great defense. So I told him that, if you work hard at something, it may not be the next day that the reward is there for it or pay off. It may not be the next week. It may not be next month. So there's no guarantee when the work will come. But if you don't work hard, you're guaranteed not to succeed. So we just got to stay in the gym with our guys, keep working on shooting, and keep the floor space and keep moving the ball. Again, this was a just a good win for this group. And we won the way that we won the way we win.
We'll go to Mark Berman, please. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, Kelvin, I know there are always some key sequences in the game when they cut it to 3 with about 12 minutes left. Fabian hit a 3 to make it 6. How big is that? How big was that 3 at that juncture?
Yeah, the crowd was really loud. Of course, the students were right there by our bench, and but that's it's a great environment. Last year with COVID, we didn't have any of this. I remember coming down here last year right after. I think we played them the day after Christmas, December 26th, and there might have been 50 people in the building. So it's a lot more fun playing in front of fans, because if it wasn't for fans, why do we even play, right? Fabian played like a senior. He made a couple bonehead plays, fouling guys or getting in the lane. But, when Fabian's priority starts with defense and rebounding, he usually becomes a good shooter. When he focuses on shooting, that's when he usually struggles. So second half, he was a really good basketball player, and he had his priorities in order. But Fabian's a tough dude. He's been through a lot of wars with me over the years, and I trust him as much as anybody I've had here.
We'll go to James Mueller with the Cougar. James, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Kelvin, you've talked about some of the threes Taze made down the stretch, and can you just talk about the progress he's shown offensively since you've been without Marcus and Tremont, and just have you seen that growth in him, just ways to impact the game on that end of the floor?
Yeah, Taze and Josh and Fabian have already graduated from college. Taze got his degree from Cal State Bakersfield. Big Josh got his degree from University of Connecticut, and Fabian got his degree from University of Houston. So the only reason I bring that up is they have a lot of free time during the day. And so we bring those guys in. Coach Quantas does an awesome job working with them. Taze, when he came here, he could shoot it. It just didn't go in very often. So it means he was a shooter and not a maker. But he's put a lot of time in. I thought he took one bad 3 in that far corner from our bench the first half. And I said, those balls shouldn't go in. So don't shoot balls that shouldn't go in. But I thought his shot selection is where it started. When you shoot shots that you practice, you have a much better chance of making them. So he's learned. I think his confidence is risen as he's gotten better. I can't imagine a kid playing any worse than he did the first half against Wisconsin. That was the low point for him. One of the reasons why we came back the second half, I didn't play him in the second half. We were playing 6-on-4 the first half. But you go from his low point to where he is now. We would not be where we are without Taze. He learned how to work. He learned how to buy into what we call our culture or identity. And his teammates trust him. I think that's important. That you have to have trust from your teammates. So especially from Fabian and Kyler and Jamal. Those guys are always on Taze to keep shooting, keep your head up. And, he did a great job of that one offensive rebound he got tonight where his shoe came off was vintage Taze Moore, because he did the same thing at the end of the Tulsa game on the road.
Got time for a couple more. We'll go to Chris Gardner, please. Chris, go ahead.
Coach, you touched on it at one point. It's 15-5 UCF on the boards. What was different? Did you have to get on the players? Did they just realize that they weren't doing a good job on the boards and got after it?
Well, let's not act like this is rocket science or a science project, Chris. That we were getting out competed. We're on the road. They delivered the first punch. Just like we deliver a lot of first punches at home. Their crowd was energizing. Watching it on TV didn't give this thing justice. I've been coming through here for parts of 8 seasons, and that's by far the loudest I've ever. And they were feeding off that, hitting crazy shots. But Green's a great shooter. He can make those shots. But I thought the Adams kid, the John kid, they were really on the boards, and So it took us a while to get our footing, and once we did, we were fine.
I got time for one more question. We'll go to Joseph Duarte again with the Chronicles. Joseph, go ahead.
Kelvin, every road game is tough, and I'm curious. This team, the different team, the new team after the injuries, what are you learning from this group when they can come into a tough environment like this and withstand, some of the blows and punches and come out with a 13, 14 point win?
I don't know what I'm learning, to be honest with you, Joseph. I can give you the chalk answer, what everybody else tells you, but I'm just I think there's just an expectation for us to win. If I call timeout and I draw something up, I expect it to be executed. If the ball is missed, I expect there to be a tip. We're learning to play on the road the way we practice. Well, we don't really practice anymore, but the things that this program is known for, the thing that's helped us win at the level we've won at, these kids have learned how to do it, and that's not easy. Recruiting talent's easy. Getting good players to come to your school, that's the easy part. The hard part is getting them to play for each other, getting them to buy into something bigger than themselves, getting them to acquiesce to your culture. That's the hard part. That's the hardest part about coaching. If that part was easy, then everybody would do it. But recruiting good players, it's not hard to do. We can get good players. The other stuff is what's hard. That's what I'm proud of this group for.